So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a short span of time. Now, please do not forget to revise this lecture just after watching it. Because if you'll only watch this lecture, then this lecture won't do justice to your preparation. You would quickly forget these current affairs. You need to revise this lecture from the notes provided by us on our Telegram channel. The link to our Telegram channel is provided in the comment section just below this video. Okay? So let's begin today's discussion. But first, let's take a look at the list of topics that we shall cover today. So let's begin. So daily current affairs, 31st of December, Wednesday, and here is the topics list. Okay. Number one topic is bomb cyclone. It's a temperate cyclone that recently hit USA. So what is bomb cyclone? What is the process of its formation? Where it is formed? We'll talk about this. Then topic number two is related to China's Justice Mission 2025. Basically, China conducted military exercises and called it Justice Mission near Taiwan, threatening USA and Taiwan that it is going to occupy Taiwan militarily very soon. So this is there. Then topic number three is India's virtual water export. India is fast becoming a water scarce country, yet despite that fact, India is exporting water to the rest of the world virtually. Now, what does that mean? Okay, we'll talk about this. And then we'll talk about secondary air pollutants, because air pollution is a huge topic these days. Now there is primary pollution, secondary pollution, or primary pollutant, secondary pollutant. So what is the difference between the two? We'll talk about this. So these are the four news items. Topic number one is related to geography portion of your UPSC syllabus. Topic number two, international relations. Topic number three is related to, well, let's say economics and geography, basically human geography. And topic number four, clear cut, related to environment portion of your UPSC syllabus. So let's start discussing these topics one by one, starting with topic number one, and that is bomb cyclone. Now, recently a cyclone hit northern USA, creating extreme winter conditions, extreme snowfall, shutting power lines and causing a lot of destruction. Okay, a lot of property losses were also caused. Now, the main cause behind this entire event was a cyclone called the bomb cyclone. Now, we all have discussed tropical cyclones which generally hit Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, right? We have discussed tropical cyclones. This cyclone that has hit northern USA is different, qualitatively different, because it is not a tropical cyclone. It is a temperate cyclone. And the formation of temperate cyclone is completely different from tropical cyclones. Okay? So, bomb cyclone is a temperate cyclone, also known as extratropical cyclones. And these cyclones don't form in the tropical regions. They form in the temperate regions. So what is this cyclone all about? What is bomb cyclone? What is bombogenesis? The process behind the formation of this cyclone. We'll talk about all these things. So pay close attention. Okay. So bomb cyclone. Okay. This was the condition in USA. So what was in the news? A powerful bomb cyclone struck northern USA on December 29, causing blizzards, power outages for 27,000 customers in the Michigan area. It also cancelled many flights. Now, what is a bomb cyclone? Okay, so bomb cyclone refers to a mid-latitude, that means temperate region, okay, not tropical region. Extratropical cyclone, extratropical or temperate cyclone, undergoing rapid intensification known as bombogenesis. So it is a temperate cyclone that undergoes bombogenesis, becomes severe and hits the region. Okay. Now, what is bombogenesis? Where central pressure drops by at least 24 millibars. The pressure drops quickly, rapidly in 24 hours, fueling explosive winds. Now, how does this form? Okay, take a look at this picture. So, from Canada, cold air mass is coming. Cold air mass of cold air. And from USA, okay, tropical regions of USA or basically southern USA, warm air is coming. Now, the point at which these two meet is known as a front. Okay. Now, as soon as this cold air, which is high pressure because cold air descends, warm air moves up. As soon as these two airs meet, the warm air quickly shift upwards. Okay. Creating a low pressure condition over here. Now, because there is low pressure condition over here, more cold air comes at higher speed and warm air comes at higher speed and they circle around each other, around this front. This process is known as frontogenesis. A front is formed, but When these two meet and the pressure drops rapidly. Why is the pressure dropping? Because the air moves upwards. Warm air moves upwards very quickly. Okay, reducing the atmospheric pressure. When the pressure drops extremely quickly, this is known as bombogenesis, and a bomb cyclone is formed. Okay, this rapid fall faster at lower latitudes creates steep pressure gradients driving hurricane force winds up to 80 km per hour or more. Okay, the term bombogenesis was coined in 1940s to 80s, distinct from tropical cyclones like hurricanes due to formation over land ocean in mid latitude without warm core. Basically, this is the difference between tropical and temperate cyclones or extratropical cyclones. Tropical cyclones form over oceans. Temperate cyclones can also form over land. Okay, so this is the thing. Clear? Now, what is the occurrence hotspots where this bombogenesis occurs? So it occurs primarily in western North Atlantic, cold North America versus warm Atlantic Gulf Stream. 18 bomb cyclones yearly near North America as per this study. Okay, it can occur any season but peaks in cold months. Prone in storm track of East Coast, like it occurs in temperate regions of Japan as well. The 2025 US event hit Midwest East Coast during holidays, the current one. Okay, holidays, Christmas and New Year holidays. What is the impact of bomb cyclones? Generates blizzards, heavy snowfall, heavy snow precipitation, lightning, wind snapping trees, trees are destroyed, power lines are destroyed, lake shore flooding, shores on the lakeside, they flood. Okay, power outages, flight chaos, everything. Okay, so remember this term bombogenesis and bomb cyclone, and they are dramatically different from tropical cyclones, which we have discussed so far in the Indian Ocean region. Okay, all right. Now let's move on to second news item, and that is China's Justice Mission 2025. Now, to understand this, you need to know a bit of background between China and Taiwan. Okay, look, in the early 20th century, from 1900s to 1949, okay, China had two factions. There were two factions who were fighting for control over the entire China. One was led by Communist Party of China. Okay, they said that when they will take control of China, they will form People's Republic of China. And then there was another faction which wanted to take control of China. It was under Chiang Kai-shek. The party was different. Okay, Kuomintang basically. But they said that when they will take control of China, they will form Republic of China. The two were fighting continuously. By 1949, People's Republic of China, Communist Party of China, they won. Okay, and fighting, the Republic of China people, they had to retreat, and they basically solidified, or they established their base in a remote island called Taiwan. Okay, so People's Republic of China took control of this entire China, which we know today, and a small island near China, Taiwan, well, Republic of China people took control of that. Now, Republic of China people said that we are the real successors of China. Okay, so one day we will take control of this entire mainland China. And mainland China, Communist Party of China said that one day we will take control of Taiwan and unify China, because Taiwan was once part of China. Okay, so this is the thing. Now, in the initial days, USA refused to recognize Communist Party, and they recognized Republic of China, the Taiwan China, as the real China. But eventually they stopped all of this, and they said that they recognize Communist Party of China, Communist China, and yes, Taiwan is there, but China cannot forcefully occupy Taiwan. This was the consensus. Now, USA has said that China cannot forcefully occupy Taiwan. Okay, and if it does, then we will come to the defense of Taiwan. This is the position. But China says that we have this dream of unifying China. Taiwan will come to China. Okay, now this is the tension. Taiwanese people do not want to go to China. China wants to unify China by occupying Taiwan. Okay, so this is the situation. Now, recently USA announced that it is going to export weapons to Taiwan so that China doesn't invade Taiwan. And China started conducting military exercises near the region. Okay, so these military exercises were called China's Justice Mission, Justice of Unifying China. So this is the entire context. Now let's talk about this. Okay, so China's Justice Mission 2025. So what was in the news? China's PLA conducted justice mission drills around Taiwan on December 29-30 involving rocket fire, flybys, fighter aircrafts crossing Taiwanese airspace, ADIZ. Okay, simulated strikes, anti-submarine operations as punitive response to USA's 11.1 billion arms sale to Taiwan. Now, this is the sixth major military exercise since 2022 conducted by China near Taiwan. As you can see, this is Taiwan, this is the entire China. China says that Taiwan would come back to China, and this dream of unifying China is harbored by many Chinese people, Chinese leadership. Okay, so this is the context. Now, this entire context I have explained to you, so let's read it in words. Okay, China-Taiwan tensions stem from the unresolved Chinese Civil War of 1949, where nationalist Kuomintang retreated to Taiwan, forming Republic of China, while communists established People's Republic of China on the mainland, both claiming legitimacy. Both claim that they are the real China. PRC views People's Republic of China. PRC views Taiwan as renegade province, a province which was part of China, went, separated and will again be unified. Renegade province for reunification by force if needed. Taiwan under DPP, a political party, since 2016 asserts de facto independence without formal declaration. They declare independence from China. They say we are a different country. China views Taiwan as a province and vows force for reunification, especially since Xi Jinping has come to power. And the recent tensions were triggered by US arms sale to Taiwan. Okay, now, what is the US-China framework? What is the US-China deal with respect to Taiwan? What is the agreement between the two? So USA maintains one China policy. So after recognizing People's Republic of China, USA maintains that we believe in one China policy. We believe that Taiwan belongs to China, but China cannot forcefully unify it. Okay, recognizing the PRC as the China's sole government since 1979, while acknowledging its view that Taiwan is part of China, enabling unofficial. So USA does not have official ties with Taiwan because it follows one China policy. China has forced USA to say that consider Taiwan as also as a part of China. Okay, as part of China, we basically have this policy of one country, two systems. So there is a different system in Taiwan. Just believe this. Okay, that is why USA has unofficial ties with Taiwan. But USA says that China cannot occupy Taiwan by force. So we recognize Taiwan as part of China, but you cannot occupy it by force. This is the stand. And this stand was mentioned in Taiwan Relations Act of USA and the three joint agreements or communique. The three joint agreements were one in Shanghai, where US acknowledged one China policy. Then in 1979, USA de-recognizes ROC as the real China, Republic of China as the real China. Okay, and 1982, USA intends future arms reduction. USA was constantly selling weapons to Taiwan, but USA said in this 1982 communique that we will reduce arms export to Taiwan if we feel that People's Republic of China is not threatening Taiwan. Now, People's Republic of China has started threatening Taiwan. So USA says, as per this third communique, we are selling arms to it. You understand? The Taiwan Relations Act was also there. US law post derecognition provides arms for Taiwan's defense, views PRC force as a grave concern. American Institute in Taiwan handles unofficial relations between Taiwan. So rather than having an embassy in Taiwan, there is American Institute in Taiwan, which is de facto embassy in Taiwan. So this is USA stand. And what is Chinese stand? China views Taiwan as an inalienable part of its territory arising from historical claims, rejecting independence and committing to reunification under one China principle. Now, China says that we prefer peaceful reunification. But if peaceful means do not come to fruition, then we have the right to use force as well. And under Xi Jinping, well, China is constantly posturing to use force, military force to occupy Taiwan. And many people say it's a matter of time. China will definitely try to attack Taiwan, and let's see if USA will actually come to the defense of Taiwan or not. Though USA has postured that it will. Okay, so this is the situation. By the way, remember this map. Okay, this is East China Sea, this is South China Sea, and in the middle is Taiwan. And this water area between Taiwan and China is known as the Taiwan Strait. So China is threatening to cross the Taiwan Strait and invade Taiwan. Let's see what happens. Okay, things are not looking that bright, by the way. All right, now let's move on to third news item, which is fascinating, and that is India's virtual water export. Now this is, well, not good news for India environmentally. Why? You know, India is the largest producer of rice in the world and one of the largest exporter of rice in the world. Okay, that seems like good news, but it's actually not. Why? Because to grow rice, you have to use a lot of water. Now, what is India doing? India is using a lot of water to grow rice and then exporting that rice to other countries. In a sense, India is exporting water from India to other countries because that rice contains the water used by India. You understand? So virtually speaking, indirectly, India is exporting water. Now, India is facing a lot of water stress in various parts of its territory. Okay, water scarce regions are really suffering. Yet, even those water scarce regions like Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Western UP, they are growing rice and they are exporting it. So, in a sense, India is exporting water from water scarce regions. This is virtual water export. Okay, now you understand this. Now let's investigate this issue. Okay, so India's virtual water export. So what was in the news? India has emerged as the world's largest rice producer and exporter, accounting for nearly 40% of the global rice trade. But this export dominance, though seems like good news, is intensifying groundwater depletion. Because rice grown in Punjab and Haryana uses a lot of groundwater. Now, this groundwater usage is depleting our aquifers, making this area, Punjab Haryana area, which is actually an arid area, dry area, making it more arid. Okay, this has accentuated virtual water export crisis. Now, about this crisis, the virtual water export crisis refers to export of water embedded in agricultural commodities. This water is embedded in rice, especially water-intensive crops like rice from a water-stressed country. In India's case, large rice exports mean exporting billions of cubic meters of groundwater, even as domestic aquifers face depletion. Even as our groundwater resources are depleting, we are still exporting water via rice. Okay, India exports over 20 million metric tons of rice annually, embedding massive quantities of irrigation water. Okay, around 24,000 plus million cubic meters of virtual water or water is exported annually through rice trade alone. Now, what are the reasons behind this? Despite knowing this fact that this is wrong, why are we still continuing to export water virtually? What are the reasons behind this? Well, number one, water-intensive rice cultivation model. Rice is a water-intensive crop, and yes, it is a water-intensive crop. We still use a lot of water to grow rice. We don't grow those varieties of rice which require less water. We also love to grow those varieties which require a lot of water. So this is there because they fetch a very good price in the export market. Then disproportionate subsidies. Okay, most of government's MSP goes towards rice and wheat. That's because of Green Revolution. So government is somehow subsidizing farmers to grow rice, more and more rice, even in dry regions. Policy legacy of food security. This MSP is a policy legacy of food security where government incentivizes farmers to grow more and more rice wheat. Monoculture of rice and wheat. Okay. Weak groundwater regulation. The government's laws, legal principles with respect to groundwater regulation, or there are various rules that you cannot have a tube well that deep, the boring cannot be that deep. All these regulations are regularly violated. There is no strict enforcement. This is the problem. And then global market dependence. We are happy that we are exporting something. We are earning money through that. Therefore, there is some amount of reluctance in stopping this rice export. Okay, so these are the main reasons. Now, this is leading to groundwater depletion. Now, what sort of steps has the government taken to reduce this groundwater depletion? Well, there are various schemes launched by government, Atal Bhujal Yojana and many others. Okay, micro irrigation programs. Those are given in your notes, so go through that. Okay, and we shall quickly shift our focus to next news item, and that is secondary air pollutants. Now, Delhi's air pollution and the surrounding regions' air pollution, basically air pollution in North India, is the topic of the day, topic of the month, topic of this season. Everyone is talking about it, okay? And because, well, for very good reasons, because it is a problematic situation. Now, out of so many discussions that regarding how to reduce air pollution, people have mostly focused on primary air pollutants. But what about secondary air pollutants, which is contributing more than 30% of Delhi's air pollution? Nobody is talking that much about secondary air pollutants. Now, what is the difference between primary air pollutants and secondary air pollutants? Well, primary air pollutants are those air pollutants which are emitted directly from the source. So, sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, they are being emitted from thermal power plants directly. These are primary air pollutants. But nitrogen oxides with sunlight and moisture, they react in the atmosphere to create ozone, which is a secondary air pollutant. Why secondary? Because it was not directly emitted from that thermal power plant. It was created in the atmosphere through chemical reactions. Now, a lot of secondary air pollutants are contributing to air pollution. So, we should know about them. So, understand this difference between primary and secondary air pollutants. I hope you got the gist of the difference. Okay, let's talk about this in detail. So, secondary air pollutants. So, a significant portion of the fine particulate matter that Delhi residents breathe is not emitted directly, and which is not emitted directly is called secondary aerosol, secondary pollutants. They now contribute at least 1/3 of cities' annual particulate matter 2.5 pollution, intensifying exposure during prolonged smog spells, helping explain why air quality can deteriorate sharply even when local sources appear under control. Now, government can stop these power plants, these cars, but still, what about those pollutants which are being created through chemical reactions in the atmosphere? How do you stop them? Well, you should focus on that as well, because they are also contributing towards air pollution. So this is the significance of this study. Okay. Now, some examples of secondary air pollutants, like secondary particulate matter 2.5, ammonium sulfate and ammonium nitrate, which is caused by a chemical reaction of nitrogenous oxides and ammonia. Then ozone. Ozone is not emitted from anything, but it is formed in the lower atmosphere, formed from nitrogen oxides and volatile organic compounds under sunlight. Then acid rain, sulfuric acid and nitric acid. They are formed by chemical reaction of water vapor and sulfur oxides and nitrogen oxides. Then smog. Smog is also caused in the atmosphere. So these are some of the examples of secondary air pollutants. Remember, primary air pollutants, secondary air pollutants. This difference should be, well, you should keep this in your memory. Okay. Now, what is the impact of all of this? Regional and transboundary impact. Secondary aerosols can travel hundreds of kilometers, meaning pollutants released from Madhya Pradesh can also reach Delhi and create secondary air pollutants and deteriorate Delhi's air quality. Severe winter smog. Policy blind spots, because mostly government focuses on primary air pollutants and stops their release by various government orders that no vehicles will travel, odd even scheme, many others. But what about secondary air pollutants? Despite stopping all of this, air pollution is there only. So you should focus on secondary air pollutants as well, and they definitely have health risk. Okay, and that would be all. With that, we conclude today's session. So thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But it will add more value if you're number one, consistent and regular with this lecture series, and number two, you revise this lecture from the notes provided by us on our Telegram channel. So with the hope that you are going to do precisely that, I shall take your leave with the promise of seeing you again with another set of news items. Thank you, everyone.